Erica, would you please do a roll call and announce present staff and instruct viewers on how they can participate?
Certainly. Today we have Chair Silva,
Here.
Vice Chair Latassa,
Here.
Commissioner Bluth,
Here.
Commissioner Freeman, Commissioner Palmer,
Here.
and Commissioner Stoker.
Here.
I'd like to note that Commissioner Pauly is absent today. Our staff members present are Planning Manager Levi Hill, Principal Planner Fernando Roveri, Principal Planner Christy Sabdo, Senior Associate Planner Chris Schmidt, and myself, Recording Secretary Erica Barrerick. Information on participating in this meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is on this meeting's agenda, which is online at monterey.gov/agendas. Remote commenters will be muted until it's their turn to speak, and a timer will be shown on the screen. If you're connected on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. In the chamber, we recommend keeping phones and devices muted to prevent audio interference with the meeting. Thank you for participating in your city government.
Thank you, Erica. We'll start with the consent agenda. Levi, point of order, should I split up number 2 from 3 and 4?
I think it would probably be the easiest to ask if there's any members of the commission or members of the public that would like to pull one of the items from consent, since we're starting all items on consent. If someone requests to have one pulled, then yes, it would make sense to take those votes separately.
Is there anybody in chambers that would like to pull one of these items? Seeing nobody online?
There are no attendees online.
Any commissioners? Very well.
Presentation and the additions to work 1.
I would like to as well, actually. So maybe we can pull item number 4 and have a presentation. But before we do that, let's take a vote on items 2 and 3.
And just to go ahead and go back out for public comment, just another opportunity to see if we have any members of the public that would like to speak on the consent agenda items. That would be the minutes, item number 2, and item number 3, recommendation for the City Council that the fiscal year 25-26 NCIP programs consistent with the general plan and all adopted city plans.
I thought I did that.
You did, but now that we've adjusted what the consent agenda is, it just want to be clear that we are opening it up for public comment.
You're very technical.
Don't want to have to come back through this.
Okay, so let's reset this. So if there's anybody in chambers or online that would like to speak before the commission on any of these items, you may do so. Anyone online?
There are no attendees online.
Okay, very well. Let's take this back to the commission, and I agree, and maybe we can get a motion in a second.
But if we move for approval on the consent agenda for item number 2, the approval of minutes, and item number 3, the fiscal year NCIP.
But before we do that, should we get a motion in a second just to pull the item number 4 off?
I was doing the opposite. I was just moving to approve those 2 items.
Yeah, we don't need a motion to pull the item. So that is a proper motion.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Sure. Chair Silva.
Yes.
Vice Chair Bluth.
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman.
Yes.
Commissioner Latassa.
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer.
Yes.
And Commissioner Stoker.
Yes.
Okay, those items have been approved.
Thank you, Erica. Now we will pay our attention to item number 4, 30 Wharf number 1, ARC permit application ARP-25-0222 for exterior alterations to an existing commercial building. Applicant Josephine Trusella, 30 Fisherman's Wharf, LLC, San Pedro Fish Market, owner City of Monterey, public institutional general plan designation exempt from CEQA. Chris.
Thank you, Chair Silva, Planning Commission. My name is Chris Schmidt. I'm the Senior Associate Planner for the city. And I've been working with the city staff and project applicant, as well as the project architect on this project. So what the recommendation here is today is for the Planning Commission to adopt a resolution approving the architectural review permit for improvements at 30 Wharf number 1. Just a bit of background information. So here's the site. So the wharf itself is all kind of one lot here. And as you can see here, I've highlighted 30 Wharf, which is the building in question today. This site has a public / institutional general plan designation. In the case of the wharf, it's very much visitor serving, reflecting that public designation. So the site contains 30 Wharf is a 2-story commercial restaurant structure. It was previously occupied by a restaurant called Scales. Scales has been closed for many years now. Its closure preceded the 2020 pandemic, and it has been vacant since. The building itself has about 17,500 square feet, mainly most of that allocated at the first floor at about 11,800, and the second floor at about 5,700 square feet. And then there's a 2,000 square foot second level deck at the rear. So the project involves tenant improvements and modifications, which include a full interior renovation of both floors as well as the deck, new storefront glazing and doors along the wharf frontage, the central walkway, replacement roofing, new rooftop mechanical systems and screening, replacement of an existing interior stair, a new elevator, seismic upgrades, and various new paint and other exterior changes. The project does not involve any sort of expansion of the building's floor area, although there are some increases in height associated with those new rooftop mechanical systems and screens. So here we see a site plan of 30 Fisherman's Wharf. And just to highlight, this is basically the wharf level. And there is existing coastal access that goes adjacent to the building underneath the second story deck, which is kind of along this access corridor here. And so looking at the first floor plan showing these improvements that are proposed today, we're seeing improvements for the retail fish market and storefront, which are going to occur kind of in this upper side of the plan here. New dining, seating, and bars, which you can see throughout the floor and the bar here. There we go. As well as back of house improvements. And then at the second floor, again, more dining. And then you can see that outdoor seating area that I mentioned here. So moving on to the elevations, to start the front elevation, this is what would be visible from the walkway of the wharf. And you can see I've just highlighted here the main improvements, as I mentioned, are these new storefront windows and doors. There would be a new paint scheme. It's kind of an off-white and white scheme with that would contrast with the proposed black storefront glazing. And then you can see the new screens and other appurtenances, including the elevator overrun. And then on the rear, so this is the side that faces the marina, and the layer of the deck railing has been removed, so you can see a lot of the improvements to the facade of the building. And this is a graphic that is in the staff report, although I just took the elevations for there were two separate elevations showing two different planes of the building that I kind of mashed together to show all of the improvements. So if you see some sort of errors, that's my doing. The architect did put together separate elevations to show those improvements. Moving on to colors and materials. So we see an array of different light fixtures, many of which have this maritime look to them with these metal guards around the bulbs themselves. And then we're seeing lots of different materials, such as new standing seam metal roofing. The siding would be painted in this kind of off-white color with white trim. The new mechanical unit screening, although is not wood, would be metal to match the existing wood siding, and any sort of new siding that would be constructed to replace, holes or new siding. And then these are the details on the new decking railings as well. So I do have a couple of renderings that the architect put together. So again, this is the view from the main wharf walkway, and kind of the opposite angle down the wharf. And you can see through the glass here, this is where that new storefront would be, where they would have an open fish market that you could, if you weren't there to dine, you can go and buy your fish and take it home. And here's a photo simulation from the marina to show what the improvements would look like. And then a rendering of that second story deck. And then another photo simulation. This is a view from the beach west of the wharf. So if you can imagine, this is the beach below the recreation trail. If you're entering the wharf on the left-hand side, it's the beach below. So in order to approve the project, the Planning Commission has to make 4 architectural review findings. Staff was able to make these findings, but I will go through them. The first is that the proposed siding, form, mass, and architectural style are appropriate for the site, the city, the surrounding area, and the city. Staff made this finding. It retains the established 2-story scale with some minimal height increases to screen mechanical equipment. As I mentioned, there's no expansion of the footprint of the building, and it would modernize the building, both the exterior and the interior, while preserving the character, that kind of industrial waterfront feel. The second finding is that the views, privacy, and living environment are not unreasonably impaired. Again, limited height increases, and the commercial wharf setting would remain the same, particularly for visitor serving uses. The third finding is that the project is consistent with city plans and design guidelines. I touched on the general plan designation as this is a public visitor serving site. This site is also subject to the Monterey Harbor Coastal Land Use Plan, and the staff was able to make this finding that the proposal does maintain that visitor serving use and preserves the existing public access with this plan. And then lastly, that the exterior finish, colors, materials, and all exterior features are appropriate. The proposal does include durable waterfront materials. The white color palette does work with this site. With the contrast of the glazing and other doors, it is appropriate. The rooftop equipment is screened, which is required by our code, and I'm noted the maritime style light fixtures. So with that, staff recommends approval. The project architect is here as well. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris?
I guess I have one question, Chris. This isn't really related to our approval, but does this project increase the seating of the restaurant from existing?
There's no existing restaurant there today. I don't know how many seats there were when Scales was originally proposed.
It looks like the floor plan was very similar to the Scales layout.
It is, yeah. I don't know how many seats there were before, though.
Okay, I was just wondering if, do they have to get a water permit for, expanded restaurant use?
They will have to get a water permit. This is a city-owned site, so it's within their lease that the city is going to provide the water credits for their use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long is a lease on this project?
Actually, don't know the answer to that question. Our property manager is here. Maybe she could help.
Just curious. It's not really related to the Planning Commission approval.
This on? Okay. Hi, my name is Jan Aldretti. I'm the city's property manager. We have a 10-year lease with a couple of options to extend. It's a significant construction project, so you're given a long term.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, no.
Why don't you get Jan up here?
You know, there's been some discussion about wharf leases in the past that so many of them have been grandfathered in at a very low rate. When a tenant completely changes, which this sounds like it is, a complete change in tenant, are the leases renegotiated?
Yes. So this was formerly a ground lease and it's now a building lease. The city owns the building.
Ground lease?
It was formerly a ground lease and the city came into ownership of the building in 2021.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's ground with water underneath. Right.
Dirt, yeah,
There's dirt underneath the water, I guess.
yes.
Thank you.
Water lease. Chris, do you happen to know when the restaurant will be ready for business, when it opens?
If I recall correctly, the lease indicates they will be open in March of next year.
Right. Very good. Any other questions?
Yes, and sorry, I just saw that was a bullet point and I don't know if I just missed it. What is the institutional general plan designation? Does that mean it's like significant for its location and business revenue generation, historic value and things like that?
It's public institutional, so these are the primary designation used for publicly owned properties.
Thanks.
Would the applicant like to provide the planning commission with a brief presentation?
Yeah.
Great.
Do I hit the button or is it? Okay. Hello, my name's Jason McCarthy. I'm a principal at Studios Architecture and I'm here on behalf of the applicant, which is San Pedro Fish Market. And we're very excited about this project and appreciate all of your consideration. If you want to go to the next. Just a little introduction to who our client is. The San Pedro Fish Market is a really vibrant, exciting, family-oriented dining concept that's really focused around a marketplace venue that celebrates food, celebrates family, and ultimately is about fun. And we're working with them. They've developed quite a brand and a reputation out of their founding location in San Pedro at the wharf of the West Harbor in LA. And it's built quite a legacy for their family. Now 4 generations of ownership are involved in operating the business. And they've expanded into one other location, and now this is the next in their expansion. And they're very excited about coming to Monterey and see a lot of sympathy or similarities in terms of the celebration of the mercantile and the seafaring and fishing industry, if you will, in the history of Monterey. So it's an exciting new opportunity for them to grow and expand their brand. And they're just really excited about this property in particular and being able to help, in a sense, reinvigorate the wharf. So just a little overview in terms of the site context. You all know it well, of course, but it's a wonderful site, really enjoys amazing views of the wharf and the harbor. And we wanted to really, make sure that we were creating a place that was inviting and welcoming to visitors and families. And it was also part of the wharf and enhancing the overall experience of the wharf. Its location is near the entry to the wharf, so it's going to have a prominence to it. And we felt that the building architecture represented the context well. We wanted to only minimally improve or modify the building, and there's a lot to be done just in terms of modernizing it and bringing it up to a level of finish for use again, because it's been a little bit uncared for some time. Go to the next. Again, looking at the context of the wharf, there's a lot to pull from and a lot that we are excited to be part of. And we just noted the variety of scale and color palettes and so forth, and looking for a way to fit within that, but also stand out in our way and feel like we were creating a place that was consistent with the San Pedro Fish Market brand. The existing storefront and the adjacent properties of the general store and the Pirates Cove just for context. Yeah, as Chris mentioned, we've been working with staff for some time now to develop our project. Very excited about this marketplace model for dining with multiple food destination elements within the restaurant. So they're actually different venues in a sense within the overall building, and different seating areas, breaking down the scale of the venue. And it is in some ways very similar to the seating count from the previous plans that we've seen from the Scales era project. Second floor plan, another bar on the second floor, which I don't think was mentioned. And that you can see the new stair that's developed kind of in the southwest corner of the building. And we've proposed a new, larger window opening to bring light in through that stair. And we've created a double height space that's going to pull daylight in from that southern exposure into the ground floor dining, as well as the second floor space there. Some of the rooftop elements, which are really what's driving the main architectural modifications, just to bring this building into a contemporary standard and to code for ventilation and comfort. We've added several new rooftop units, so we've proposed some screening elements to be consistent with the architecture, but also to be stepped in scale. And we tried as best we could to pull that back from the edges so it really wasn't visible from the wharf itself. This is that new storefront. We think very, fresh and modern take for the wharf, but still consistent with the vernacular of the wharf and the adjacent properties. Obviously, the signage is not a part of this application. That'll come down the line. But part of our rationale for this white and light gray palette is that we think the logo will really stand out against that, as well as opportunities for potential art mural along the public access corridor, which we've yet to develop. But we think there's room to create some additional color on the building with subsequent mural art proposal. Additional views, and again, as noted, this is really meant to be very open and inviting, and trying to make as much transparency to the interior functioning of the marketplace, and drawing people in with seeing people working on breaking down fish, and the real celebrating the process of preparing the food is a big part of their brand and their customer experience. The view from the water, from the wharf, from the docks, and then if you go to the next, the photo montage or the photo simulation showing those new roof screen elements, which you can see just kind of at the peak of the upper roof, trying to keep that to as minimal a profile as possible. And then the middle tier roof sort of set back is where a lot of the newer equipment is being screened. Again, the view from the coastal trail and a render of what that might look like from that trail. The deck, that's fine. And just again, some of the elevations showing what we've tried to do in terms of breaking down the scale of the rooftop screening, but also corralling the mechanical equipment so that it's away from the highest points of the roof, so that the overall height doesn't get pushed up any further. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions? I have a question, and that is, are there going to be any preventive measures taken to preserve all of the exterior metal work, such as the light fixtures, and if there's metal railings and the rooftop equipment, and just all the stuff that's going to be exposed to corrosion?
Well, certainly we're trying to specify a high performance paint coating for all of the exterior elements. I thought you were going to head to the bird question, which
Well, I figured you probably dealt with that by painting the building white.
yeah, that's a big part of the rationale there. But we're certainly trying to be cautious about the conditions here and proposing long weathering materiality to minimize overall cost and, you know, ongoing maintenance, which we expect there will be some being in a marine environment.
And I would also expect that the owners with experience going back to 1956 with their original location would have some input on what works and what doesn't work.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more questions? Okay. That was quick and easy. Is there anybody in chambers that wishes to speak to this project? Seeing nobody online?
There are no attendees online.
Thank you, Erica. We'll close the public hearing and take this back to the commission. Comments?
Nothing, just accept that it's a fantastic presentation. Love seeing the revitalization of the wharf. Was wondering why white was chosen, though I have no complaints about it. It looks beautiful. Really look forward to seeing this business come here.
Terry?
Yeah, nice project and good presentation. It appears to be the biggest space on the wharf, and it's nice to see it being revitalized.
I would echo that. Been vacant for far too long. It'll add a lot of life to the wharf and be a real hub for people walking down, especially since it's painted white.
Bob?
I like it. It's a fantastic project, and it's not just gonna reutilize an old location, but it's gonna provide a whole new business model. I mean, you're gonna be selling stuff there. It's gonna be driving more customers onto that location. So I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm so glad to see that happening in that location.
David?
Nothing to add.
Okay, well, I agree with everything that people have said here, and I like the fact that it's being painted white, not for the bird situation, but for the fact that it's going to differentiate from all the other colors that are kind of bombarding pedestrians that are walk down the wharf. It's a little overwhelming right now. And I'm in full support of the project. I think it's a great addition to the wharf. It's certainly its time has come for that space to be occupied and used, and I'm really glad that the city worked out an arrangement with the San Pedro Fish Market to make this happen. The Scales project, we all kind of remember when that blew up and closed down, and it was a big deal. And I don't think anyone here could have predicted that it would have taken all these years to get something revitalized out there. So very good job. Thank you. We get a roll call, please, Erica.
How about a motion?
Oh,
I
the technicalities.
I move that we approve 30 Wharf Number 1 Architectural Review Permit Application 250222 for exterior alterations to the existing commercial building.
I'll second that.
Very good. Now it's time for the roll call.
Sure. Chair Silva.
Yes.
Vice Chair Latassa.
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman.
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer.
Yes.
And Commissioner Stoker.
Yes.
That is approved, and the decision is appealable within 10 days to our city council. We have applications online and in our planning office.
Thank you, Erica, and congratulations. Very nice project. All right, up next, is there anybody in chambers or online that wishes to speak to the Planning Commission on an item that is not on today's agenda? You may do so. Seeing nobody, anybody online, Erica?
There are no attendees online.
All right, well, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. We do have commissioner comments. David?
I've got two things. Last meeting, we talked a little bit about the recreation trail. Back in the old days, I'm going to take you back to the old days. Planning commissioners could ask for work projects. And I believe, I don't know why we can't, if you're going to tell me we can't, I'd like, it is time to update the rec trail plan. This was done back when Ruth Freeland was on city council, and the rec trail has changed. I think you've heard a number of us talk about the speed limit on the rec trail, things going on, but I think it's not just that. It's the whole concept of signage towards the rec trail, which was totally discouraged at one time, and how it's used. So I think it's time to update that. It's been 35 years, maybe, at least 30. So it's been a long time. And I think that I bet you I could find more support from other planning commissioners for this request. My other item is I asked at one point early on when, still last year, I believe, what's going on with all of our work projects? We have this incredibly short agenda today. We did last time. We have time to actually, as a planning commission, get some work done. And we have things that we're supposed to get done this year, including our update for the housing element, the seawater rise, some other. When can I expect to see some of those things happen?
Sure. So just for starters, we do have an updated housing element. So our housing element was updated. It was adopted and certified in 2024. So I believe what you're referring to is housing element implementation tasks. So those are ongoing over the 7-year planning cycle. So there's not really a hard end date to whenever that's done until every single program and every unit is built until the next cycle. But those are being worked on. So we have identified about 5 to 6 housing element implementation programs that are being worked on by staff now. So we anticipate those coming before the commission, any that require the commission's review before going to council. So we expect those probably in the summer coming before this commission. City staff is in the, I would say, early to mid stages with the sea level rise vulnerability analysis. We're working with our consultant group there and getting a draft vulnerability report that's ready for this commission's review before it gets released to released to the public. So that's in its final stages before we move into looking at adaptation strategies that are associated with that as well. So we expect that in this calendar year to also come before the commission. And then we are going to be bringing chapter by chapter pieces of our local coastal program that's being updated to not necessarily for action at this point, but to bring the commission up to speed on where we're at on that. And these are draft chapters with draft policy language to get feedback from the commission before we submit to the coastal commission. It's to your first question on whether or not the planning commission can assign work. I would say that the staff has an adopted work program that it gets adopted by city council for the entire city staff work program. So my suggestion would be to either consult with council members to have those items that you speak of brought up during that time, or you're welcome to speak at public comment at any council meeting to have those properly assigned or added to the work program.
So it would take a city council vote to bring something like a program to improve the rec trail to the planning commission?
Correct. So as you're explaining, you have a lot of time on these agendas for the commission to do work. What's missing is the staff resources. It's the city council that controls what our staffing levels are and what resources are allocated to our division. And therefore it's the city council who would look at that and align that with an appropriate level of work for that year.
Levi, I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
In the Carmel Pine Cone that came out last week, there was a front page article. I think you know where I'm heading with this.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, given the fact that this 11-story housing project is outside the city limits, is there any way that the City of Monterey Planning Commission can agendize some type of presentation so that we can collectively have a say to the county planning commission in order to voice our concerns?
So that actually took place at the February 17th city council meeting. So that item was presented to the council on a kind of to get authorization to submit a letter to comment on that project to the county's Builders Remedy project. And that was presented at that meeting, and then the city council voted to authorize the mayor to sign a letter to submit a comment. So that's happening, that the city is formally submitting comment on that project.
Good. Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
And what concerns did the council have?
Many, many concerns.
Valid concerns, health and
Yes.
safety concerns.
Yeah,
is
everything
on
from
top.
improper utility infrastructure to scenic impacts to, I mean, you name it. There was,
Yeah.
The proposed site is heavily sloped. It's a lot of issues with the project.
My second question slash comment is, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to, is a couple of hearings ago, I made a point about the way in which staff reports still continue to use findings that are somewhat subjective in nature. And I've had dialogue with you about this, and I think it might be something for staff to consider to have advisory language warning the Planning Commission that a denial of a housing project under HHA based on subjective findings might be in violation. And I was hoping that you might have some feedback on that.
I don't at this time.
Anything?
Yes,
Oh,
go
No,
ahead.
you can go first, Sandy.
Couple of meetings ago, I asked if somebody from the city, and I see that Jana is here, so this is an opportune time again to ask the same question. What is the city's relationship to MIIS? Who owns the buildings? How is it structured now if there is a city MIIS relationship? And when they close the school, are there any projected changes? It's just a picture of what the relationship to MIS is.
Sure. So it's my understanding that Middlebury actually owns their buildings and the structures and their property that they utilize for their operations. I think at the announcement of their closure, they stated that they weren't going to be entertaining necessarily conversations or discussions about the future of the properties until their operations had ceased. So I'm not aware of any active conversations that are happening in depth between the city and Middlebury about property acquisition or reuse of any property.
Anything else?
Just following up now that we're doing the architectural review board stuff. We had one conversation about the Marriott Hotel, and I'm just wondering if you have any further information on what the original architectural review permits had regarding that missing garage door on Franklin Street.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to find the end of that thread just quite yet, but that is being looked at.
Yeah, it's just that it seems like it's really an eyesore for our downtown area. The door is not even present. There's a railing for the door to run, but the door was taken out. I can't remember the last time I saw that door down. So it's been quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be good to be able to have something we could go back to the, Marriott hotel and to say, hey, you need to reinstall the door and use it.
Any other comments?
I'd just like to say thank you to the folks from the neighborhood associations for coming and seeing the NCIP process through. I know we didn't discuss it, but thanks for being active and observing. And thanks to Jan as well. I know she works really hard to, as a property manager, to manage all our properties and find the best people and businesses to lease these buildings that are public property. And here's just a great example of a story that ended badly through no fault of our own, and then we're coming back with having such a fantastic new business to the wharf. And so just kudos to Jana and everyone in planning.
So I have two items. First, I do agree with David about the need for an updated rec trail consideration. That's a good idea. And the second is also about the project on Viejo Road. I think the address is 711 Viejo Road. Everybody should go look at that. If you go to the county's Acela website, you can see the plans. And it's shocking. 11 stories is generous. It's actually more like 13 stories. And it's really going to be terrible. And any action anybody can take to, writing letters. It's a Monterey County project. It's funny, it's right on the city's boundary. Right next to Highway 1 and sort of where the Munros comes up. And it's, everybody should go look at the plans though, and I think that will help inform any actions they might take. Thank you.
Informational reports.
Sure. So just following up on the February 17th City Council meeting, as I mentioned, there was a presentation on the 711 VA Road project, Monterey County Builders Remedy project. The council did vote to authorize the mayor to sign and submit a comment letter opposing the project. Also at that meeting was the approval of the general plan map amendment for 5 Mandeville Court that came before this commission, I think last month. And then also noted in the update in your agenda packet is the tentative agenda for the March 10th Planning Commission meeting, which is our general plan annual progress report. So that'll be a more in-depth report on where we're at on our housing element and our implementation of our programs. And then also it looks like we're going to have an amendment to our CIP that's also going to make its way onto that agenda as well. That's all we got.
Very good. Thank you, Levi. Of course. Okay, that wraps it up. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Work.